Hey everyone, I'm back here with Vitruvian art, and I have another tutorial for you today. Today we're coloring crystals, and I wanted to show you the very basic process of just having a light source and having a shadow, and what that does on a crystal, and what will make it pop out just a little bit more. I recently did an entire crystal page, and I can actually show you here. And it looks kind of like this, or it looks like this because this is what it is. And I liked it because of like the inner light that it has, but I didn't like the way all of it came out. I would prefer a more classical look to it, I guess, with an actual light source and actual shadows. So I went back and I did a smaller one, and that's the one that we're going to take you through today. So here we go. First, we're going to pick a light source. For me, I have my colors up here for you that I'm going to use. This is for the darkest things that I'm going to do on top of everything. It's just like a little bit of pop in there to push some shadows darker. But we have, I believe this is Spanish orange, and we have regular orange, we have poppy red, Tuscan red, and then we have that dark blue, the indigo blue. So I came in here and I thought about my light source and where I wanted it to come from, and I want it to come down from this angle. Okay, so if we use our pencil here, this is going to be our light source coming down from this angle. So anything that looks like it lines up with this, any of the facets that are flat and look like they would be hit directly by the light, are going to be our brightest, and then anything on the almost opposite side of that is going to be our darkest. So I've gone in, and what I'm going to show you is that I go in and I'm just like, this facet is probably going to be really light. This one, the entire way down, is going to be light, and I want some of the white of the paper to show through, so I'm kind of just highlighting where I want the lightest parts to be. I want it up here. I want this little one for some reason. I want this one to stick out, and it's going to be really light because it's kind of hitting that same angle, and then this one will be dark. Let's see. This one's going to be light. A little bit of top of this one. All of these facets up here will be light, and a little bit of this one over here. This one will be light, and I'm just trying to think about it and where I would put those lights, where they're going to hit. This entire plane right here is going to be light. Quite a bit of this, as well as these, will be light. I kind of want some of the light to hit a little bit down here. Maybe it's reflecting off of the top of this one to over here. And then this one definitely is going to be really light, so I'm just going to put a little bit here of the yellow, or the Spanish orange, excuse me, it's not a yellow. And then this one's going to be light, I think, mostly because the light's going to be hitting on the back of this quartz crystal here, so it's going to be coming out and hitting here. So same's going to happen here. So this part right here is going to be kind of light as well, and then this down here is going to be dark. This one here is going to be light. This is going to be light, this entire side of the facet, or of the, what do you call these? Like shoots of crystal? I don't really know actually what I would call them. And then I'm going to think about where I want the shadows to be, and that way I can get a rough estimate of what I'm really looking at here is in terms of coloring it all. For my shadows, I'm going to use the Tuscan Red. And then after everything's done, we kind of color it out. We'll go back in and use maybe some of the blue and some of the darkest spots. So we're thinking about opposite the light source. So this comes out towards us a little bit, this right here. So this side of it is going to be very dark. I'm going to put in this dark right here. This will also be dark. And you can, play around with it as much as you would like when you're using colored pencils. Use whatever colors you want. Just make sure you have lights and darks. That way you can play out where the shadows and where the light sources are. This is going to be really, really dark. Anywhere where you've got like the light and dark meeting, that line right there is going to be really, really dark. See how that is? It's going to hit, and you've got the light on this, kind of this side, and then you got the dark, and it's almost a straight line. A line right there. See the shadow? Okay, so this is going to be dark. And then, let's see, all of this down here is going to be in shadow because it's away from our light source. It's bending kind of towards me. And we're going to use some of our other colors and come in and make this a bunch funner than it is right now. And then these down here, this is this part from up here coming back here. Also going to be dark. Maybe a little bit here. I'm just thinking about the shadows and where they're going to place. And then we're going to come in and we're going to brighten it up with our oranges and our reds. And bring in a lot of the, not just the contrast, but also the character of these and all that. So let's see, this is going to be decently dark right here, but this is going to be light because it's kind of up here. This part right here though, I think is going to be a little bit dark. And then this is like directly on this other side of the light source, so it's going to be pretty stinking dark. As well as this one over here, and these two back here, and then, ooh, don't forget this one. This one right here is going to be really, really dark. This one's probably going to be more of a mid-tone, but we'll put in a little bit of shade on it. This one is dark. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see there, we've got some lights and we've got some darks. Now what we want to do is bring in some of the midtones. So like as a secondary shadow almost, I'm going to bring in some of the poppy red, which is our next one up here. I'm sorry, I saw my video skipping. I have no idea why it's fritzing out. So we've got some of these midtones that I want to go over my shadows. And I am going to come in with a colorless blender and just blend it all out so that it has more of an even tone to all of it, or an even texture to all of it. And that's up to you. If you like this look, go for it all the way. If you don't, that's totally cool. If you want to do this with any other medium, you can. It works with anything. The idea of lights and darks is just what I like for a more 3D looking object, versus just saying, this is a flat color and that's a flat color and this is a different color. So I like that better than what I've seen with some of the watercolor tutorials, where they just choose a bunch of colors that they've kind of grouped together, like pinks and blues and purples, and then they just go for it. And I mean, if that's your thing, dude, that's cool. And the watercolor ones look really cool, but you can't achieve that effect as much with pencils. And honestly, I prefer pencils. I'm not a master at watercolor, so I mean, I definitely could try, but I don't know that. And I'm just, by the way, making some little, where I think some of there's going to be random shadows up here. But with watercolor, I'm not the best. I could try. If anybody wants me to try, let me know. I will. I'll totally get on and make myself look like a doofus. I'm cool with that. Okay, and then, let's see, some of our shadows over here. So anything that's directly like, any of the sides of these that are facing me, I kind of want to be this color because it's like a mid-tone. So that means most of this, but I want this to be the lighter one, which is the orange that we have up there. So I'm coloring really light with that. Okay, so that brings in that, and then let's go up in our color hues to our, it's just orange, right? It's just orange. It's the 918. It's a really smooth color. I like it. It's very, very bright. And I'm just going to come in and bring this on some of the other colors. And then this entire one, I want to be this color on top of all these others. So for over here, I want this to be a little bit brighter down here. Because of this, again, it's bouncing off, or I assume in my imaginary head, if this were a 3D object, it would be bouncing off and hitting that. Here we go. Kind of more of a mid-tone there. And you can go over any of your shadows if you want them to be lighter. If you want some interesting changes in your shadows, go over them. I want this to be more orange because it's not directly hitting the light. It's like a little bit in the shadow there. Okay. Bring some of this over here. Trying to stay as much out of the picture so you can see what I'm doing as possible. Alright, kind of like the look of that. And let's go back to our Spanish orange, our yellowish color. It's very yellow, it's not very orange to me, but maybe Spain has a different version of yellow that I don't know about. This, by the way, this picture, and a couple of others of the crystal pages, if you would like them, they're in my Etsy shop. I will link it for you in the description box. It's like $3 or something. And there's like 3 different groupings of crystals, and they're each on a separate page. You could, you know, size them down. I have this one really small, so that you can color them any way you would like. You can make them bigger or smaller. Depending on how you want to color this. I like to print out stuff small so that I can show you and not take up, you know, 3 hours of your time in coloring. But that's the basis of it, and then you can just come in with our colorless blender pencil. This is my brand new one because my other one is getting really tiny. And I'm going to start with just doing some of the light ones so that I don't have to go over here on my scratch paper and get any of the red off. Because you pick up the pigment of the pencils as you go. And you can can go over it, and I want it to get a more even texture on all of this. Is really what I'm going for. And then you can go back in, and once you have a way of, or once you kind of see the way it's starting to look, and you can deepen your shadows, you can lighten things, you can go over the yellow with orange, or any other way you want to. I just wanted to basically show you how I did this and how it comes out, and if you like it, then great. If you find a better way to do it, let me know. Do a video, show me. If you grab these pages and you color them and they look, you know, they either look crazy good or crazy bad, that's cool. It's okay. Believe me, practice makes perfect. Tag me, find me on Facebook, show me what you've done. I would love to know, and I'd love to see it. I will put my Facebook link on the bottom. My art page is Vitruvian Art on Facebook, and you can find me. I'm always doing gemstones as well as coloring pages, and I'm kind of obsessed with gems, so I love doing the faceted ones and the round bubbly type ones and all of those. So if you're a gem addict, you can find me on there and find one of my groups that I'm in, or my group actually. Alright, see how smooth that makes it? It's just really cool. Gives it a very unique texture and a more overall color, and less of the paper showing through. Promise I'm not pushing that hard, even though it sure sounds scratchy. But do you see how it kind of looks, where you've got the lightest side over here, and you have the mid-tone and the darker side? That's all you're really going for, is to give it a little bit of hint of realism of that 3D shape. That's really what I've gone for, at least. To pick whatever, ooh, see how I brought that red right up there in the light? That's not what I wanted to do. But pick whatever colors you want, and then just go from there. Just make sure you have the wide range that you need for lights and darks. And then just go on to color them in. I'm getting this everywhere. Can you see that? It went like way out over here. And this pertains to any medium. It's not just colored pencils. So if you wanted to do it with gel pens or whatever, you could. Okay, so what I see is that I do want to go in and fill in some more of this with the shadows. Make these a little bit darker down here. And just go back in wherever you feel like it needs to be darker. If you want it lighter, use the white pencil, go over it. You can. With Prismacolors especially, you could. And then I think on this side of it, I'm going to go back in with the orange and go over some of this, just to give it a slightly different looking color. You could choose a totally different color if you wanted to. Let's see. If you want to bring in shadows to some of the lighter spots, you could come up here and use it in the corners, just to give it more of a fun look to it, like that. You can do that as well. Right. I wanted to show you that you can use this. I did this almost exact same thing with gel pens, just to show you that it's the shading, it's not just the medium. So this is done with gel pens, and as you can see, it's a little darker. I didn't have the quite exact same colors, but I did try and get really, really close. So this one's done with gel pens, and I like the way it came out. It's a very different look, but as you can see, it works. You just gotta find your shadows, know where they go. To make these darker shadows down here with my Prismacolor, that's where I brought in the indigo blue, and I went down here and down here, making sure that it just got darker. When you use a cool color like a blue or a purple, you could use a purple actually down here, it's going to push the shadows, like it pushes things away from your eye, whereas warm colors pop things towards your eye. So you can go all the way up here and just bring in those dark, 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 darks. And just make your color really, really pop. So I hope this helps you. Go back in, smooth it out if you want, and go crazy with it. If you wanted to bring in a white gel pen and make, you know, little sparkles and highlights all over it, you could do that too. There is 1,000 different things you can do, and I know some of you out there are brilliant colorists, and I'm just an artist who knows where shadows and shades go. So I hope this helps, and I would love to see your artwork. So please find me, tag me, show me, and I'll link everything for you in the description below. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time with another tutorial.